Hello everybody, and welcome back to Let's Play Dark Souls. In the last one, we destroyed the Demon Fire Sage, and in this one we are going to continue our boss gauntlet into the Demon Ruins and fight our way into Lost Izalith by defeating the Centipede Demon, hopefully. The only way into the Lost Izalith, the only way to get through the level is to beat the Centipede Demon because he drops a ring that allows you to walk on lava without taking much damage, and most of Lost Izalith is filled with lava. So I'm pretty sure there's like no way to actually get through it and survive without doing so. But we're gonna summon Solaire for this fight. I don't think he does all that much for us. In general, like every time I've done this fight, I feel like he's been fairly useless. But Solaire is by far, don't want to say my favorite summon. He's definitely one of the more interesting summons. Whereas my favorite summon is probably Iron Tarkus because of his badassery. But anyway, if you walk through here, you will be greeted with a cutscene, unlike the last two bosses that we fought. Now, they call this the Centipede Demon, but really it looks a little bit more like a mixture between, I guess, a centipede and a crab and a Tyrannosaurus Rex. It's a very strange looking thing. Anyway, so it starts out really far away from you and it slowly walks over to you, but as it does, it tends to attack you with its arm like that, like so. And that's one of the reasons why I picked Solaire. He just acts as bait, which is nice. I better not roll near him. And you can actually hit his arm, and if you do, you can actually, if you're lucky, get the ring, like I just did, the orange charred ring, without actually beating the demon first. You don't have to. If you kill the demon, you will get the ring by default. But if you manage to cut off his arm, you will get it as a drop, which is kind of cool. I suppose if I was to die, I would be able to fight this guy and walk in the lava at the same time, but it's not really the biggest deal to me, because as you can see, I'm doing a lot of damage to this guy already. He basically is a very simple boss. He does this little jump spin, and that's pretty much his only move once he's over here. Otherwise, he just kind of swings his fists around, like, being super angry. And the fight with him is really no different than the fight, with him when you don't have Solaire, because he's barely even paying attention to Solaire. He just kind of jumps around, swings his arms around, and you just wait for him to swing, and then you get an attack in, and you back off a little bit. It's fairly simple as long as you can make sure that you can stay on the platform. I think the most difficult part of this fight is just like leveraging, fighting him, and being able to stay on the platforms where it's safe and not in the lava where you take a lot of damage. Without that restriction, if you were to use the ring, I think this guy would be one of the easiest bosses in the game. I think the only time I could actually consider, the only thing I could see killing you isn't really him, it's more the lava. I suppose if he was to fall on you, like if you were to stand right underneath him, that would, be a concern. But as long as you stay moving, you shouldn't have an issue with this guy. As you can see, he's already dead. Victory achieved. Yeah, no problem, bro. Sup, Solaire? Alright, so yeah. Now that we've killed him, you'll notice that it's just kind of like a giant pool of lava in front of us. And we are going to equip that orange charred ring and start traversing it. And you're going to see that it, with this and the fire damage upgrades and everything else, it does very little damage to me as I'm walking across. So you can see it like slowly tick away at my health bar, but if you ran through lava normally, or if you ever get hit by Kilog's lava when you're fighting her, you'll notice that you almost die every time you hit the lava, whereas at this, it's barely even taking a bite out. So it's pretty much the only way that you can cross it. And you will notice that if you walk through here, you'll find a bonfire and Solaire.
Why? Why? After all this searching, I still cannot find it.
And he's apparently having a bit of an existential crisis right now, so...
Why? After all this searching, I still cannot find it.
I don't think he really says anything else at this point, but once this happens, there's basically nothing you can do for Solaire. He is going to go crazy, and we will see him later, and even have the chance to fight him and win his armor. Not in this episode, but in a couple from now, we'll have the opportunity to go back and do that. And it's pretty easy to do, and we're gonna end up going to that area anyway for a totally different reason. But anyway, you're gonna notice this random tree branch just kind of like sticking over the lava here, and that is the only path other than walking directly through the lava in order to get into Lost Izalith. And we finally get into it, officially. And you're gonna notice that this entire area is just based off of a bunch of lava, some tree branches to walk on here and there, not even all everywhere because a lot of it is actually just purely lava, and these gigantic half dragons. Now most of these guys, they're kind of like the bottom half of a T-Rex. They're just kind of like the bones and legs of, like without a head or anything. A lot of people call these guys dragon butts or dragon asses. I just call them assholes because if they catch you, you pretty much die. They're very difficult to kill and definitely better taken out at a range, but I usually don't bother. If you run the right way, as you're going to see me try to do here, you can avoid them altogether without ever, coming in contact with one. And there'll only be like 1 or 2 moments where you actually have to run from them. But you should be able to find safety fairly simply after that anyway. So if you run this way, you'll basically avoid all of them, and you'll get to our first kind of little stop, our first little sanctuary, which is inside this structure. And there's not really much here. There's some dragon statues that are kind of protecting it, but they're easily dispatched, of course, because they're the same dragon statues you've been fighting all through the demon runes. And one of these sides isn't actually an opening, and there'll be a chest inside. And I'm just going to make sure that no one's following me, no statues. Alright, and you get a Soul of a Great Hero, which has like 10,000 souls. That's actually a pretty good item. And then the next sanctuary is actually over there. You could just barely see it for a second, but it's on the other side of these dragon butts. And I make kind of a mistake here because I actually aggro a dragon butt without realizing it. And here he's coming, oh man. And you actually have to run to that tree branch in the distance, but just as an example of how quickly the dragon butts can kill you, I die very, very quickly there. Oh dear. So yeah, I'm going to show you a little bit of a better way. You actually are supposed to go around the other side, which would be the much easier way to avoid all the dragon butts and still kind of get to where you need to go. And you can get there without aggroing all of them, and I'm going to show you this time. So you start off running. We're back at the area we were before, and just follow the exact path that I do, and you'll be able to get to the secret bonfire in Lost Izalith, and be prepared for the second half of Lost Izalith, right there. Once we find this bonfire, that'll probably be it for the episode. I'm going to save the regular part of Lost Izalith and the boss, the Bed of Chaos, for the next time. But for now, I'm just going to show you how to get to the secret bonfire, so that way you guys can save, and so I can save personally, and be ready, to head into the ruins. This part is probably only the most annoying because it's very unclear as to where to go. And to be honest, to get into the Lost Izalith ruins, the path is not very, very clear at all. There's only one little tree branch that you kind of have to know where it is in order to get into the ruins. And you could literally wander around fighting dragon butts for like years before you find this thing. So I'm gonna just kind of show you where it is. And as you can see, I'm just like running through the lava. I'm like half on fire right now, but not really taking any damage, so I'm just, another example of why you desperately need the orange shard ring. Alright, so we're going to try to go around the other way this time and stay very close to the structure, and we should be able to avoid the notice of all the dragon butts. They don't see us right now, so I will drink up, and I will run straight across to that branch I just told you about, as we head over to the next structure, which is the next sanctuary kind of deal. And there are a lot, if you notice, of these dragon butts, and I believe they're actually farmable. Like they drop like pretty good stuff, but you'd have to check a wiki or something for that, because I'm not 100% sure. I don't mess with them. They tend to kill me way too fast to bother. But anyway, I forget which way you're actually supposed to roll down, so we're just gonna jump off here. And luckily we didn't aggro anyone. And I believe it's this one. It is. Alright, so there you go. That is, you know, where the secret bonfire is. And directly across from where we are is where we're going to head into the Lost Islet ruins next time. And, you know, that's basically it. We destroyed the Centipede Demon today. Next time we'll destroy the Bed of Chaos and a bunch of other random stuff. And, you know, I will see you guys then for, you know, our Friday episode. See you later.